Today we're going to look at France, or the Caribbean, or New York, or something. Hello and welcome to Intoxicated Masculinity. If it's Wednesday, we have a cocktail video coming at you. Today, this is the first cocktail video of July, and we love our tiki cocktails, and July is the hottest month of the year, so this month we are going to be tackling tiki cocktails, and we're starting off with a very appropriately titled book, Tiki. This is Shannon Mustipher's book, Tiki, and I found a bunch of cocktails in here. You know, we typically looked a lot at Smuggler's Cove, but I think we shouldn't always just, sort of focus on one cocktail book. And one of the ones I came across in here is the Martinique cocktail. Now, if you know anything about Martinique, it is a territory of France, so it is French soil. So one would think originally that this is a Caribbean cocktail, and then you think it's a French cocktail, but in fact it was actually developed in the 1930s in New York at the Martinique Hotel. It does use rum Agricole. Rum Agricole is a specific kind of rum that is made only in Martinique. For all intents and purposes, it is very much like cachaça. It is the distillation and the fermentation methods they use to make cachaça is how they make rum Agricole. But to make cachaça, you have to be made in Brazil. So this basically is just another name for something they make in Brazil. This actually happens a fair amount. There's a bunch of unaged brandies that have different names based on where they come from. Again, cocktail comes from Prohibition era in New York, but it does have definitely a sort of Caribbean and Martinique flavor. And now that we know a little bit about the history of the cocktail, let's stop talking about it and start making and drinking it. Okay, we're back and we have ourselves some ingredients. As we do every so often, I'm going to pour a little bit. This is Clement, however you'd like to pronounce it. Again, this is our rum Agricole. I just want to try this. Well, you'll notice, just like cachaça, it's very grassy. It's got a very kind of grassy nose to it. I mean, it is made from sugarcane. It's actually made from the juice of sugarcane. So it's very much like regular rum, but just a little bit different. I would say a little bit drier than a lot of your rums, which for me is a good thing. And again, just gives off that very sort of kind of grassy nose, grassy flavor. I wouldn't say it's my favorite rum, but it is very interesting. And if you haven't had rum Agricole or cachaça before, I would highly recommend it. Yeah, it's very good. Anyway, let's get on to making our cocktail. The first thing we're going to start off with is our orgeat. I will link below a place that will give you a recipe for orgeat. Essentially what it is a combination. You're essentially starting off by making almond milk. I made this myself. Essentially, you grind up, or you blend up almonds with hot water. You then squeeze out the juice. You then boil that with some sugar and some orange flower water, and you have your orgeat. It's a very, very typical tiki staple. It's also very thick. This is just going to call for 1/4 of an ounce. You can buy this, and it's very time consuming to make. So if you are going to make this at home, know that you are in for a time. Next, we have our honey syrup. So this is a simple syrup. We actually used this for a cocktail a couple weeks ago. And we're going to add 1/2 ounce of our honey syrup. One just small thing that I've noticed, if I have ingredients that are a little bit thicker, I'll use those first, because then, by the way, our next ingredient is going to be our fresh squeezed lemon juice. So now, I've still got a little bit of that thicker stuff in there. So we're going to add in 3/4 of an ounce of our lime juice. And then, this is a fairly boozy cocktail, we're going to add 3 ounces of our rum Agricole. So in this case, I'm going to use that 1 ounce. And we'll turn it over and use our 2-ounce line. And that hopefully is going to get most of those thicker ingredients out of your jigger and into your mixing glass. All right, now that we've got all our ingredients in here, all we got to do is get some ice in our shaker and shake this thing up. Okay, we got some ice from our shaker. One note on substitutions. I don't talk about that as much as I should. For orgeat, there's really no substituting orgeat. It has a very, very unique flavor. you're not really going to substitute anything for it. You could substitute a regular rum, and I don't think it's going to do too much damage to this, but it is, and Rhum Agricole does have a unique flavor, but I don't think using regular rum is going to make it taste bad or anything. But let's get that in our mixing glass, give it a pound, and give it a good shake. Alright, and we are going to go ahead and double strain that into a chilled Nick and Nora glass. On thicker things like this, they're not going to want to go through your fine mesh strainer as well as some of your other stuff will. So you just kind of tap that a little bit, and that'll get that in there. This actually says to garnish with a desiccated citrus wedge, and there you have your Isle of Martinique cocktail. Let's give it a try. That's very good. So this is going to be a little bit like a Mai Tai. I mean, it's using Orgeat, and you know the main ingredient, the sort of most important ingredient in a Mai Tai is Orgeat. This is a little. God, what is that? So you're definitely getting the Rhum Agricole. That sort of grassiness, that kind of freshness is coming through. I like that. I would say it is. I was going to say it's a little less complex. It is fairly complex. So the Orgeat does kind of an interesting thing. You sort of get that almond, that nuttiness on the main part of your palate, but then it has kind of an interesting finish, which is just a little bit different. Still nutty, but kind of in a different way. The honey is sort of combining with the Orgeat, and I'm having a hard time. You can kind of separate them a little bit, but the honey and the Orgeat are just kind of mixing together. So you're kind of, it's kind of an amalgamation of those two flavors. The citrus is, it's interesting. There's 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice in here, and I feel like it's not coming through a ton. It doesn't mean it's a bad cocktail by any stretch of the imagination. It's there. So in this cocktail, the citrus is kind of around the outsides. The Orgeat's back of the palate, and your Rhum Agricole. The finish is Rhum Agricole. I'm getting that now. So your Rhum Agricole, you'll taste a little bit of that grassiness on the front of the palate, but then later on, it kind of moves to the back and has a nice finish that actually hangs around quite a bit. That's actually a very nice finish. Yeah, it's very good, very refreshing. Now this is a little bit creamier because you're using Orgeat. It's very thick. The honey syrup is very thick, so this isn't going to be like a regular daiquiri where you can toss things back really quick because they're more or less viscous, whatever the thinner of the two is. I can never remember. This is a thicker cocktail. It is also very sugary because we basically got 3/4 of an ounce of sugar here in the form of honey and here in the form of just regular cane sugar. I probably wouldn't have too many of these. This could be one of those things where you're in danger of maybe getting a little bit of a bad hang, or if you have too much of these, because it's going to be a little sweet. But again, that's me. I'm used to very dry cocktails. If you're used to sweeter cocktails, this might actually be just kind of just right. So yeah, that's a very good cocktail. It does have a lot of depth. It's interesting, when I first sipped it, I didn't sort of get that depth. It kind of takes a minute and the finish kind of comes in. So yeah, I would recommend this a lot. It's a very good cocktail. And on that bombshell, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good drink, and have a good day.